I guess I've been keeping you waiting for a long time, but no more.
I might not be very nice today and I might lose more subscribers. Based on the last time that I did a video on this chick, I mean, it definitely got me some L's in the subscriber department. But anyway, welcome back to Ran-DomU University. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit all the buttons, hit all the bells, do all the things that help this channel out, because we got to talk about Big Dank again. That's right, Big Dank Demoss. That's what she calls herself. So I'm not out here throwing names for the BBW. I'm just saying that's what she calls herself. So she's back in the news again after she went viral for this clip here.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What you saying?
Yeah, I got no space in my car is small.
I can fit in this car.
But believe me,
Yes, I can.
believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What am I doing with my money?
I'm going to cancel it. You're not going to be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
Hey, you can order a pickup truck.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car? So I gotta order another Lyft.
Yeah. And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
What I got to do with your tires?
Now, obviously, if you looked at the thumbnail and if you kept up with this situation at all, then you already know the fact that this chick is rather larger than life. And we'll get to more of those details later about how much larger than life than she actually used to be than she is currently right now, which is actually kind of impressive. But we'll save that for a little bit later, because this whole interview that she did with the Breakfast Club, because now she hit mainstream media for whatever reason. I guess now she's got to hit mainstream and tell everybody about this story that she doesn't want so much attention to. But somehow, I mean, I guess hitting up iHeartMedia and all these people, I guess only because they called her. I mean, hell, you can always just say no. You don't have to say, hey, I'll definitely accept it, but I'm pretty sure there's a check involved. Which is okay and understandable. I mean, if there is, I mean, I get it. I mean, no big deal. But just to sit here and act like, you're a victim throughout this situation all the way to this point, that's disappointing. Just oh, it's
me? You mean me?
Yes, some of this is on you. Just like that clip we just saw, just like the same clip that I went over in the last video that I did on this chick. Like, you could hear the struggle from the vehicle.
What makes you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back.
I mean, you heard it screaming. Now, the whole vision that guy had in his head, Abraham was thinking that his tires were going to pop. Like, the whole visual in my mind is absolutely insane. You're just in your car and the tires just explode. All four of them at once. I mean, oh, that would be hilarious. It doesn't work that way, but that would be really funny if that was the case. Like, they're just riding down the road and they all just all at the same time. That would be absolutely hilarious. But I feel like it's situations like these that cause the moments in the Boondocks where Martin Luther King was ashamed to come back and be a black person because of the embarrassment that our people display out here on television and shit every day.
Will you ignorant niggas please shut the hell up? Is this it? This is what I got all those ass whoopings for? But lo and behold, some 4 decades later, what have I found but a bunch of trifling, shiftless, good-for-nothing niggas? And I know some of you don't want to hear me say that word. That's what I see now, niggas. And you don't want to be a nigga, because niggas are living contradictions. Niggas are full of unfulfilled ambitions. Niggas wax and wane. Niggas love to complain. Niggas love to hear themselves talk but hate to explain. Niggas love being another man's judge and jury. Niggas procrastinate until it's time to worry. Niggas love to be late. Niggas hate to hurry. Black entertainment television is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
He's right. Because when we're out here begging for sympathy during situations like this, because, hey, we have to own her. I mean, I'm not going to say that she's not black because of this situation. She's still very black. We're not going to release her. We're not going to get rid of her like some others. But she is, making us all collectively take an L that we do not deserve. And it's embarrassing. Because this would be embarrassing for anybody in this situation to never take any accountability for this crap. But in today's video, we're mostly going to focus on the Breakfast Club interview, and that's what we're going to start off reviewing now. Which that interview got off to a very interesting start. Like, as soon as she literally like wobbled her way through the door, which, I mean, you know, she can't really help, which, you know, still self-inflicted. Even though she can't really help that part, as soon as she walked in there, I already knew there was going to be problems. Because as soon as they like panned the camera over to her microphone and I saw that they had another office chair sitting there, I was like, that's not going to work. Oh no, because I could only see if they sat her in that chair and she actually sat there for any longer than a couple of minutes, the lumbar support was going to explode. You were going to hear it pop live on air. Those microphones pick up quite a bit, and it definitely would have heard that crunch. And as she would have dropped, she's already not that tall, so her head would have probably got down to like chin level near the top of the table, and then you would have known exactly what happened. So embarrassingly, they had to roll up the couch so she could have enough space to sit on. I mean, because she was upset at the fact that they weren't accommodating her at first, which I will give her credit on the fact that, yeah, they definitely should have thought further than giving her another office chair. Like, you come on, y'all. Y'all gotta know. Like, first of all, think about the poor chair. If we're over here, you know, defending robots, think about the poor plastic chair. What about its emotions and feelings? Thinking it's going to have to support that, knowing that its back is going to give out as soon as she sits on them. Come on now, let's be respectful here. We weren't thinking about all the objects involved in this scenario. So they gave her the couch to sit on so she had a lot more space and a lot more comfortable seat than everybody else that had in the room. So now she felt at peace, felt comfortable.
You walked in and, you know, you said the chair was too small, so you had to bring the part of the sectional for you to sit in. And you said something, you said, now this is what I'm talking about, accommodations, right?
Yes.
But we live in a world that's not always going to be able to accommodate people that are
But we
plus
should,
size.
though. We should, because we not all the same, you know?
But the messed up part was next. Immediately after saying like basically hello from Charlemagne, DJ Envy went straight into talking about the lawsuit, which she tried to act like she didn't try to get the driver fired. But in the lawsuit, it says she was suing Lyft and also John Doe, the Lyft driver. So it sounds to me like you were coming for his head. So she was immediately caught up in a lie, and she felt very insecure and very upset about that. And I'm pretty sure she felt attacked coming onto the Breakfast Club like this, because she already felt set up from the fact that they had this chair that was set up for her to break immediately as soon as she came into the room. And now they're setting her up immediately with this question talking about the lawsuit, when really she was just wanting to talk about her music. So they start asking her some personal questions and going along with the interview that way. That way they can get the icebreaker going and getting her a little bit more comfortable, you know, to talk about some other things. Now, the one thing that stuck out immediately in this interview was the fact that when they started talking about big people, she didn't want to say the word fat.
I feel like we should. Like, why not? I feel like a lot of times people think that bigger people, obese, the F word people should just be in a house. When it's like, we not. Word? Yeah, the F word. I'm not.
The word that you can't say in your house, fat. You don't like it.
Oh!
I'm not saying that word.
Yeah, we don't use that word in my house either.
I thought you were talking about the gay slur. I'm like, wait, I'm confused.
No.
But
No, that's taboo. That's a bad word. That's N-word to her. Don't say fat. Don't say obese. I'm pretty sure that would trigger her to a point of, you know, mass craze. And I don't think you want to get her to that point because, hey, one of those situations that if she fell on you, you would be in trouble. And I don't think you want to fight off all of that, because even the world's strongest people would have a hard time squatting all that weight. Now, my thing is this, like, it bothers me the fact that they want to also take up the F word. Like, now that's a slur. Like, listen, I will give gay people the fact that the F word is a slur. Like, it sounds bad on paper. It sounds bad coming out of people's mouths. I used to say it, unfortunately, a whole lot back in the day when everybody used to say it just joking around. Even though we didn't mean it for gay people, we still said it. And honestly, when you look back on it now, it feels very cringe. It hurts my feelings to know that we did say it so much, but never was to hurt anybody's feelings. But dang it, all I know is that sounds bad. It sounds icky. You know what I'm saying? So I don't say it anymore. It just doesn't, that's not going to come out of my mouth. It just doesn't flow. You know what I'm saying? I feel terrible. It should feel like how a person would be saying the N word. But I'm sorry. I'm going to say fat. That's going to happen. You're not going to get that one from us. No, we're not. You're not going to get the F word. The gays can have it. You can't.
I just feel like it should be accommodated. Bigger people should be accommodated, just like we accommodate the LGBT community, all those other communities. I just feel like we outside. If we inside, is get up. Why you in a house? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. When we outside, it's like, why you not in a house?
Well, people would say, okay, just
Who actually told you that? Because, like, that's crazy. I don't believe that, F people should stay in the house. I mean,
that's how it is. We go outside and people looking at us crazy. Like, we getting stared at for what? Because we big?
Because in another country, you would be looked at like an exhibit. You would be literally stared at like you were a zoo animal. That's why when foreigners come over to our country, they always look at y'all like, oh my God, what is that? What is that over there? And they're like, oh, that is just the American obese person. Yo, that's what they do. They look at you in shock. Because y'all don't exist in other countries. I was just talking to a chick literally days ago, and she was looking around. I was like, how was your experience out in the town? And one of the things she pointed out was there's a lot of big people here. She was from London. I'm like, I guess there's not as many in your country. She's like, no, there is shame over there. Not saying that it's always a good thing, but I'm just saying it does impact the culture. It would lead to a lot less if it was kind of one of those things that was actually looked down upon as opposed to empowerment, because they know overseas that ideally this isn't good for your health long term. So this isn't something that should be embraced. Pumping your food full of crap that's just going to make you bigger and bigger and bigger, and it just makes it worse. And this whole thing about the European standard being thin woman, it's not just European. If you go to other countries, their standard is thin too. Brazil, China, Africa, it doesn't matter what country you go to, they usually like to have thinner folks. So it's not just Europe. It's not just thin white chicks. It's literally global. But again, this whole thing just reeks of so much delusion that it's scary. She talks about having a skinny person mindset. In her mind, she actually thinks she's thin. That doesn't mean anything. I'm sorry. I don't care if you think you're skinny. That doesn't change the fact that you can't go up and down the escalator at the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to take another alternate route. You have to get on the elevator. And even if you get on the elevator, you got to make sure there's only so-and-so amount of people in there. People actually get, concerned when you get on the elevator about the, max capacity of weight. Most of the time you get into the elevator, you don't think about it. You get in and all of a sudden people start looking up and start thinking, do we have too much in here? At least I would be concerned. I've seen people get trapped on elevators, and that is a concerning thing. I get nervous about those folks because sometimes they got to crawl up some ladders and get out in between the shafts. If that's the case for you, you're just stuck up in there. You might not be thin enough for them to risk like putting the ladder down and getting up out. So it's just a danger. You got to think about more things in this. Now, she is on a weight loss journey, and I will get to that in a little bit. But once again, this whole thing still is delusional. This is no different than the Dave Blunt wasn't concerned about the fact that if he put on another live performance in front of a whole bunch of people, he could die. Enough stress on the heart. The man rolled out an oxygen tank the last time he was out there. I mean, I'm pretty sure that means you're on your last legs. This is how a black kid believes that he's an actual cyborg. This is how Myron Gaines believes he's a white guy. This level of delusion. Lost. People that weigh almost 500 pounds believing that they're skinny. You're not skinny. Myron, you're not white. Homie that believes he's a cyborg, I'm sorry. You were born in this time and you're black. Wake up. Go be useful for your mother. Now, that was a while back on Dr. Phil, and who knows about those shenanigans at the time, but either way, he played it up and it was weird. Fix it. Dave Blunt's go get help. Don't perform until you actually get on there like 600. Jesus.
These are some of the things that we don't have to deal with.
Again, the plane situation, that's not my reality. Anytime shout out to Southwest because they accommodate bigger people. If you need 2 seats, they're going to give it to you for free. If you pay for 2 seats, they're going to refund you.
Really?
I don't have that problem. Like,
I didn't know that.
Even if
that's what I'm saying. We don't speak about it.
Like last time I went to Delta, they said
Delta charge you.
You might need 2 seats, ma'am, but we're gonna let you get on this time. I never have a problem with my seating when I get on the plane. Like, I never have problems. Like, when I come into a room, I demand my respect, and I'm sweet. I'm a nice person, so I feel like people respect that. I respect you, you respect me.
Now, of course, she shouted out Southwest Airlines because Southwest accommodates people of her size without charging her an extra ticket for an extra seat, which is completely unfair and discriminatory to all the other people who aren't plus size. The folks who even try to gain weight or even try to get up to her size, which I don't see who's really trying to do that. But if they are, just saying, we don't get a discount. What if there's a person about half her size, but they take up just a little bit too much of the first seat? And they're like, ooh, I need another one. I'm sorry, this just isn't big enough. Then they have a whole half of another seat just exposed where they can just have a whole bunch of extra space where the other person's going to be cramped regardless. How fair is that? They don't have to pay for an extra seat and they get a whole bunch of extra space. I don't think anybody thinks about that, do they? Oh, well, I'm pretty sure if you're on the flight, I'm pretty sure you've thought of it. Because now it starts bending the rules into a whole bunch of ways that's not fair. But yes, it accommodates you. What about everybody else? No, F everybody else. This world needs to cater to me. It's the same thing as everybody else who wants to be a victim. All these people that want to be victims want to bully everybody else. They want to bully everybody else into believing their ideology, their representation in life is the only thing that matters. And it's like, dude, come on, get over yourself and realize there's other people in the world. I'm just saying, like, most of the time y'all are the minority. Not saying that y'all should be discriminated against or forgotten about or just your plight doesn't matter. But dang, man, think about the other majority of us who don't have your situation. All this selfishness just is what pisses most people off. It's selfish. Now, she also, just like everybody from My 600-Pound Life, talked about how she doesn't eat that much and she doesn't consume that much food. She doesn't gorge. She doesn't binge eat. That never takes place. She just naturally somehow ballooned up to this weight and she started growing extra bellies. No, that's not how that works. Nobody's buying that. That's all cap. But whatever, we'll take her at her word.
She eat, she do this, she do that all the time. That's not my reality either. Like,
you don't eat?
I do eat, but I don't just sit down. I'm not 600-pound life. That's not my life.
Gotcha.
You know?
But the one thing that people don't realize is the fact that, hey, she actually used to be about 600 pounds. Currently, she's about 589 pounds or something like that. But she actually used to be about 600. She was at 598 pounds.
Dr. Stormy.
Thank you.
One time, when you have these conversations with plus size people, it always comes up that, everybody that's, big isn't unhealthy. And, some people just can't lose the weight. They're dealing with issues. Like, she has a thyroid. Talk to us about that?
So I been Dank provider for a little over 3 months, right? And she's lost 80 pounds. Mm-hmm. Your 80 pounds go look different from her 80 pounds, right? Mm-hmm. Because she started at 580. Mm-hmm.
So she has done a lot. She has actually worked and got herself back out here, and like losing weight. So she is in the right direction, but she's not where she thinks she is. That doesn't change the fact that dude's car could not fit her and the fact that she was going to destroy it if she got inside and they try to go uphill. None of those factors, go away. All that is still real. Just because you have the mass delusion in your head doesn't mean you should be accommodated. And the most effed up thing about this situation is that she could possibly win the lawsuit just because of technicalities in Michigan. Everybody is supposed to accommodate people of her size regardless. When everybody knows, like, hey, just look at this photo here. She barely can get up out of the SUV. She looks like she's pigeonholed up in there. And she thinks that she was supposed to be able to get somehow into like that Nissan Sentra or Honda Civic. I'm sorry, there's no way. She says she can fit in a Prius. Where, the back? Like, did they stuff you in the back of the Prius and they were like, all right, she's in? I mean, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. I'm sorry, if you account for like 8 pairs of legs, you don't count. I'm sorry, you've exceeded the size limit. Get you the extra large. It's not fair to the other people, and everybody knows this at this point. But I am glad that she is actually working out. She says she likes going to the gym, and apparently she's doing something that's working. Because unlike most of the people from My 600-Pound Life, they're all sitting around and all making excuses talking about, Dr. Now, I just don't know how I'm not losing the weight. And it's like, you're not even trying to adhere to the diet. You're still smuggling food in and out of your house all the dang time. Somebody's always overfeeding you. You got 10 enablers and you already know what's up. Stop lying, talking about, I be working out when the physical trainer be here, lifting those 2-pound weights like 20 times a day. That's not going to supplement the fact that you just ate 10 bags of family-sized Doritos right after they left. So I will give her credit the fact that she's actually working hard and she's actually trying to lose the weight. So good for her. Because 100-pound loss is a significant amount, and especially on her own. Now, apparently, they did explain the fact that she's on some type of huge cocktail of pills and vitamins and stuff like that to help her out. She's pretty much on Ozempic, so she's doing that thing as well. So she's getting aid, but it's not the supposed. So near the end of the conversation, the thing circled back around talking about the Lyft driver and the lawsuit and the whole fact that Charlamagne was like, I can actually sympathize and see both sides of the story here. I can empathize with you and I can empathize with the Lyft driver, about saying, hey, I might not want to push it with this car that I have that's struggling right now. And then she decided that she was going to blame the app afterwards.
I mean, you're right. Nobody should have to deal with what you had to deal with. I do have empathy for both you and the Lyft driver, though. But Keys brought up a good point. If it was for 550-pound people, he probably would have found a way. So that does make me look at things a little bit different. But I can understand why he would feel that way when he pulled up. He just didn't know. I don't think he meant any harm by it. Like, he didn't And I don't feel like he was disrespectful. Did you feel like he was disrespectful?
I just feel like it was no effort. I feel like it was just no effort. I just really couldn't believe that had happened. He was saying that, you know.
That he refused.
Yeah, I don't
to drive you around.
I don't fault him, but I do fault the company because it's like, this is what y'all allowing. Because when I did share my story with the world, a lot of people came to me and said they did that to them too. Even Lyft drivers reached out to me like, we not supposed to do that. I would have never did that to you, you know, so.
Still not taking any more accountability. Now she's blaming the app, which obviously is why she's suing Lyft, I guess. But dang, she really went on to believe that they need to have more specifics in the app, talking about exactly what size and stuff needs to be able to be inputted on the app. So they'll be able to base on the fact that you're not even going to be able to choose a regular size car. It'll automatically shift you to the fact that you need to get an XL. So you're not in this embarrassing situation where it's like, come on now. Like, come on, why do everybody have to put in so much extra work because you don't want to put in any work? Makes no sense. It's not fair to everybody else. Oh no, everybody else has got to go grind while I'm sitting around not doing much for myself. I mean, that's what most people feel when they look at people who's overweight. Not to say that some people aren't big, because most people, I mean, there's a lot of big people. It's America. I mean, most people are fat. But I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of people who aren't like that. Dang near immobile. She's lucky that she's getting around, which proves that she does have like some athleticism. She's really nimble. She's flexible. She can touch her toes and all sorts of crazy stuff. But the bottom line is those knees are going to snap any day now if she doesn't do something about her weight. That's why she's wobbling everywhere. She literally fell on stage in a performance. And I'm pretty sure the entire place shook like there was at least a point or 5 point something on a Richter scale for a freaking earthquake. I'm pretty sure the whole place shook. A light probably fell down and struck a person. Hell, there might be a lawsuit out for that, for all we know. But I'm just saying, she failed. Look at that. Just look at that. That's tough. And those people were panicking. They were like, come on. We gotta go.
Go. 7 years per hour here.
Which, I mean, that job is a dangerous job. To have to go out there and lift somebody like that, especially on the fly, especially in an emergency. But this whole thing was just kind of bothersome to see her come out here and not take any accountability for the situation. Lawsuit's going to still stand. She's still going to go out here and try to get this money from Lyft and just blame everybody else. And even though she is trying to change some things about her life, she's still just as delusional as anybody else that you can see that doesn't understand their own plight in the situation they're putting everybody else through. The fact that they're somehow playing victim and somehow everybody else is having to come to their aid, they don't see any of that. It's just like those people in your life that just refuse to take accountability for changing any of their actions. They're always telling you something like, oh my God, I swear, I promise to change. I'm working on myself. I'm doing better. I'm going to church. I'm reading my Bible. I'm doing all this stuff like that. I'm seeking therapy. I'm talking to others. I'm in friend groups and all sorts of things like that. And yet their actions never change. Never change year after year after year after year. You're having the same conversations with them because they done crashed out again and had some other type of meltdown somewhere where they done lost their job, they done slapped some woman around, or they got sent to jail, or all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, but people don't take accountability, and yet they're still doing the same thing. It's like, no, change your actions today. Start right now. Stop blaming everybody. It's not their fault you're 500 pounds. No, get the XL. Just saying, like, I mean, these people who can't take accountability for anything in their life, and I get it. It's not always easy to just say, yes, it's me. I did it. It's not. But dang, man, sometimes it just makes things easier. It makes things move along smoother. Just gets it over with. Dang, I remember one time I was in college. I remember these cops came over because I guess we were partying too loud, and they're like, y'all need to relax and whatnot. And they walked in and they said, well, I smell weed. I know one of y'all is out here smoking. I can tell right now. I can smell it. And honestly, this guy was full of crap. I mean, like, there was no weed smell out there because nobody actually had been smoking at that apartment. People had definitely smoked weed, but it wasn't there. And I know sometimes it sticks on your clothes, but it wasn't reeking like that. Come on now. I had a pretty good nose for the stuff at the time too. And it's like, no, you're lying. Well, anyway, they kept pressing us and whatnot, and they were starting to threaten to take somebody to jail, etc. And then I was like, it was me. It was me. Especially after my friend had just wobbled down the stairs, and she was like, well, they asked her, like, how are you, ma'am? And she said, I'm good. And that was a situation where I'm like, boy, we need to go ahead and fix this before they really do start hauling some of us off, because there was underage people in there. And either way, owned up to it. They left. It ended the situation. Take accountability. Hell, I was only partially responsible because I did smoke previously, but I didn't smoke there. There was no weed at the actual apartment. That crap was garbage. Well, anyway, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you soon.